Just got back from Molineux where it finished earlier on. Wolves 1, West Ham 0. I'm here to give my uncensored rant, video and review for Wolves 1, West Ham 0. And trust me, I'm not going to hold back. We're celebrating a goal away from home, which you've just seen in that intro. It seems a million miles away at the moment because, yet again, another really, really poor away performance. Wins away from home are few and far between. Wins at home are few and far between. We've won 1 point out of the last possible 21 in the Premier League. We've lost 19 out of our last 36 games. And it's just shocking. It really, really is. And the question I ask and I pose to West Ham tonight is, when is it going to change and how is it going to change under David Moyes? I'm afraid it's the end of the road, and I think the end of the road was quite a while ago actually, and we've just been prolonging it. And I think draws against Leeds and that win against Brentford have sort of prolonged the inevitable, which we know it's going to happen. It's going to be the sacking of David Moyes. We all know it. We can all see it. There was some real anger coming out of that away end this afternoon from everybody. You could tell everybody was right peed off about that, and rightly so. You can't blame any fan today for being annoyed because, there was nothing, there was not one positive to take out of that game other than the burger outside was nice. Honestly, it was absolutely atrocious. From minute 1 to minute 96, not at one point did I think we're going to win this football match. And as soon as I saw that lineup, I went negative tactics, negative Moyes, Ben Rama on the bench, Skamaka on the bench, Downs on the bench, Souček starting. I know what was going to happen. And you could just pick out, watching it right in front of my eyes, I could pick out the issues straight away that Moyes just can't see. And everybody in that away end can pick out the issues that Moyes can't see. Every West Ham fan can pick out these issues. I can reel them off for you now. We're sitting too deep midfield, boys. There's a big gap between the attack and midfield, which means there's no press. And one thing I'm going to say, I thought Wolves weren't great this afternoon, and especially when we did press them slightly, I thought they looked a little bit rattled. And at one point when Antonio came and Rice pushed up and pressed as well and slid in, they looked worried and under pressure because we were putting pressure on them, the exact thing we failed to do often enough. And we did it a couple of occasions in the 90 minutes in that game. Just not enough, few and far between. And we did have them in trouble defensively because they were passing it around from the back, and we pressured them and they didn't quite know what to do. If we would have done that more, we would have forced a really big mistake out of Wolves. I'm convinced of it. But yet again, it's the same old story. We couldn't do it because Antonio's so isolated up there on his own because there's such a gap between Souček and Rice. Fornals and Bowen, the wingers, are way out on the right-hand side and the left-hand side. They're way out on the flanks and they're deep as well. They're not getting forward and bombing. They're not in line with Antonio because they're deep and they're defending and they're sitting a little bit deeper. There's just so many problems there. And the big worry for me is I don't see where goals is coming from currently. We were going, we were sort of going through it on the way back in the car. Goals we've scored this season, have mainly been, especially in recent times, they've been penalties and outside of the box shots. I failed to remember more than 2 goals that weren't that. That Souček one for Spurs is one of them. But most of our goals this season have came from either outside of the box shots or a penalty, because there's no attacking outlet there. There's no creativity, and that bit of creativity that Ben Rama brings, we don't see often enough because Moyes puts him on the bench week in, week out. As much as it wasn't the best shot in the world last week at Brentford, and the keeper should have saved it, don't get me wrong, but he's put Ben Rama on the bench. He's scored a goal. He's sent us to the 4th round of the FA Cup. He's brought a buzz again, just for a small amount of time, a bit of a buzz, a bit, the winning feeling again was brought back to West Ham last weekend, and Worcester reward Ben Rama straight back onto the bench. What must Ben Rama be thinking sat there, honestly? And the thing that sums it up fundamentally is that you look, and it was on about the 20th minute, West Ham fans started singing Side Ben Rama's name. He was sat on the bench. Oh, Side Ben Rama. rang through that away end, and that tells you all you need to know. Every single West Ham fan can see the obvious except David Moyes, and that is the worrying thing, that he's not going to change it. And we're hearing from in the nose, apparently close to the club, that there's a board meeting going on, but it's nothing to do with Moyes' sacking. It's a tribute to David Gold, which is fair enough, don't get me wrong, but they're not they're not lining up a possible replacement currently, and it looks like they're going to wait it out till the Everton game, which to be honest, I exactly thought they'd do. I did not think they'd sack him tonight. I'd have been surprised if they did. I knew they were going to wait till the Everton game, and it looks very much that way. Otherwise, they would have sacked him by now. So it's just so deflating, because you can see the anger from the West Ham fans, and it's rightly so, because I don't think Wolves were great today, but they showed a bit of fight. They've brought in a new manager who made proactive substitutions. They made 5 substitutions today, even though at points they were winning. They were bringing on substitutions. They were affecting the game. We put on 2 substitutions today, and I could have told you at 2:45 what those substitutions were going to be. Ben Rama for Souček and Scamacca to come on. To be fair, I would have thought it would have been for Antonio, but Scamacca to come on at some point, and that's exactly what happened. And he failed to change it even more, and it's like for like changes. Souček went off. Why is Souček starting? Why is he starting in the first place? Honestly, I do not see it. It's like Moyes is just forgetting about games in the past and starting Souček again, and then going, oh, he wasn't very good today, let's take him off. But then he'll start him again next week. I just don't see the point. I really, really don't. The same issues every single week, and Moyes is failing to see them and failing to act on them. And I'm afraid that only leaves one thing, and that is for David Moyes to leave his role as manager. In my opinion, I think he needs to sack. And if anyone thinks that he doesn't need the sack currently, then well, I don't know what you've been watching all through 2022, which was sugar-coated over by a fantastic European run, don't get me wrong. But, and especially to the start. So to be fair, we started 2023 reasonably well, but these issues have been in the club and have been sugar-coated over for a while. I think in the Premier League or whatever, we won 11 times in 2022 in a whole calendar year. And we've won 19. We've lost 19 out of our last 36. We picked up 1 point out of a possible 21. This is championship form. We're currently sat 18th in the league, and we've got a game against Everton next Saturday, which I think is either going to give us a chance of staying up or sending us down. Because if we lose to Everton next week, we've then got Newcastle, Chelsea, Spurs. We're picking up nothing from them. No matter how bad Chelsea are at the moment, they're still going to beat us. We need to get something from that game. Otherwise, I do fear the worst. I know we're only halfway through the season, but all of a sudden we've got, a really difficult upcoming run of fixtures after that. And I don't see us picking up points from them, and currently sat on 15 points I think we're on. I don't see us getting much more the way we're playing at the moment, because it's just so poor. Put your thoughts in the comment section down below. What's your thoughts on today's game in the current situation? Should Moyes be sacked? Definitely, 100%. I've never been surer of anything in my life. Drop a like, subscribe, check out our channel sponsors, Esther, M, Karma and Son. The vlog is uploading as I speak. So yeah, check that out on the channel. Fan reactions are coming very, very shortly. That's it from me. Come on, you irons. I'll catch you soon right here on West Ham Official. Thank you very much, and bye.